What's up, good people? You got Lavelle here, aka Vell, and welcome back to my channel where we bond over our favorite TV shows, trending topics, and everything in between that we care about. So right now, I am back on camera with an unscheduled, unplanned video because my Wendy Williams Family Feud video now already has a part 2 with her epic clapback. 2021 might be a newborn, y'all, but this baby is acting a fool and keeping us up at night with colic. So as many of you know, Wendy Williams has already clapped back against her brother, Tommy Williams, for calling her out about not attending her mother's funeral. And y'all, I feel like I'm being triggered. Hold on, I need a drink to get through this one. Now, on January 18th at approximately 10:15 a.m., the mic drop around the world was heard on the Wendy Williams show. And it was epic, y'all. Now, normally, I get a good chuckle from a good shady read, but this for me was so different because it didn't happen on one of our beloved reality shows. These people are real life relatives and siblings. Now, to be honest, I was actually surprised to see Wendy Williams come out guns a-blazing and being open and like just straightforward with it, because we know that she's very private, and usually when there's things going on, even with her relationship and her husband cheating and all that was going on with that, you know, she was kind of cagey with her responses. She was responding, but yet not responding. And with this, she just came out, laid it out. There was no question of who she was talking about, what she meant. There was no stone left unturned with her response to Tommy. Now I want you guys to listen for yourself to this artful but heartbreaking read while I take a few sips.
Tristan's all too happy to talk to me. And I'm like, well, Tristan, well, show me this, well, show me this, well, show me this. And finally I get down to, Tristan, have you seen this nonsense my brother's been putting on the internet? Do you clap if you all know what I'm talking about. No, clap like you mean it. You know things? You know things?
I know things. I'm all on the internet.
Well, honey, Tristan plugged both my phones, and then I was like, bye. I didn't even need Tristan. Tommy, let me tell you something right now. All you are is my brother. You better stop talking the way you're talking, because now it's dripping into my comment page. See, I wasn't searching for Tommy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was simply looking about how people felt about last week's shows, or the dresses, or the guests we had on. We do a nice production here. I'm minding my own WendyShow.com business.
Right.
And I'm seeing a lot of comments about your brother doesn't like you, or you better watch your back because your brother's on one. Or, Wendy, I can't believe you're this kind of person, or that he's pegging me to be a person that I am not. Honey, you don't want me to start pegging you to be the person that you are. With full-blown receipts. I could fill the audience with receipts, with the leftovers all the way around the block. Norman, do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're talking about.
Do you understand what I'm talking about? Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand what you're talking
Okay.
about. Right.
You are my brother. Let's keep it that way. Right. If you want to talk on the internet, then you talk about the things that you think you know about yourself. You don't want to talk about the things that I know about you. For sure. By the way, do you like my dress, Tommy?
Yeah.
He would like a dress like this. Excuse me, crew in the back. That's enough about that. My mother's watching. Mommy, you know I know better. But you read the... Oh, never mind. She's busy with Mr. Abernathy, who was Dr. King's very good friend. Suzanne, I'm gonna get off of it, but I was on one last night. But you read the blogs.
Yeah, I see them.
Could you believe that?
Not good. Why are they all laughing back there?
Because they read the blogs and they can't believe that I'm actually voicing my... I've been holding back for years.
Yeah.
Oh, years. but had no reason to say anything. Like, what's to say? But now I'm seeing, you know, you and your wife better get your life before I get it for you. Is it almost 11 o'clock?
Almost.
Okay.
Almost. Soon.
Okay.
Please, soon.
You know, I love my family. I'm forced to love one. Do you know that I have better feelings for my ex-husband, Kevin, than I do for my own brother?
Oh.
Now, you know that's saying something.
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, Kevin. I'm just saying. Yes. But based on what you all have read, clap if you're with me. But he's all over. He's got a blog for this and a blog for that. And then one where he needs Jesus. You know, he goes all kumbaya. And then goes back to the hot grease and the coughing and the spitting and the arguing with people and talking about me. There is nothing you could say about me that either I haven't already said in my 35 plus years that you've been jealous of holding this microphone, or that you won't find out the rest in full totality on January 30th on Lifetime. You don't expect your family to be your enemy. My family now is, Daddy, calm down. You've known these feelings. He's the one who pushed the button. Anyway.
That was a lot, people. That was a lot. So obviously, based on what Wendy is saying, this beef has been brewing for years. She's even saying her mom was aware of it. However, I will say, beyond the just reading and airing out of the dirty laundry from both of them, I will say that what disturbed me most from Wendy's response was the comment about how her brother would enjoy wearing her dress, which basically is implying something about his sexuality. And not only was that very exposing and potentially an embarrassing comment, and she has her staff rolling and cackling in the background, you know, laughing at him, and I'm sure some of them have met him. But I think I take most issues with how Wendy always weaponizes homosexuality against men. It's kind of like her TKO thing when she's coming for a man. It's like her go-to thing is to weaponize homosexuality when she surrounds herself constantly with a crew of gay men. But nevertheless, the way that Wendy came for her brother on her worldwide televised talk show makes it very clear that she has very little to no respect for him, and basically now only loves him to the level that she feels like she is required to as his sibling. Now, after seeing this and trying to recoup and needing a nap to recover from it, I really thought, like, okay, this is gonna die down and maybe it'll go behind the scenes and they'll hash it out, etc. But that's not what occurred. Tommy came out on his channel just a short while ago, really doubling down on his position and really calling Wendy out even more than he did before, and asking her the question of, why didn't you attend our mom's funeral? And why haven't you explained it to our father? So check out his response here, and I'll definitely have the link to his channel below so that you can go to his channel and check out his content for yourself. So let's take a look while I pour a little bit more wine.
Wendy, this video's for you. Unfortunately, I just got off the phone with Daddy. Didn't watch the movie this morning. Didn't watch the show, I'm sorry, this morning. But he watched it this evening. Very upset, very disappointed, naturally. Really, this shouldn't be happening. It's crazy right now. Absolutely crazy. I asked you one question. Why didn't you go to the funeral? Why couldn't you call Daddy and let him know why? Why couldn't you, if it was that serious, if it was that much of a stance, then what was the problem? I was there when you came in on that night of the dawning of the wake. And you told us, you told Daddy that you had to race back to New York, handle business. You were only gonna be in town for the viewing. We didn't even know. He didn't even know. I mean, it doesn't matter if I knew or not. Your father didn't even know that you were in town for the funeral, and you're out eating lunch with your ex and your son, which wouldn't be a problem, I guess. I guess if you had told your father that, or I mean, he was hurt. He's hurt. He's hurt, Wendy. That's why I'm here right now, because it's not fair. It's not right. It's painful for him. It's painful for me. It's painful for the family. We have a small family, fragmented because of this. Because I've put my foot all the way in it, and I'm going to twist it, and I'm going to keep it in there. You could call me out. You could say whatever you want about me, Wendy. It's not about that, right? I'm married 21 years. You were married 21 years, right? It's not about Kevin. Kevin came to the viewing. I thought that was great. Thanked him. Thought it was wonderful. Showed his admiration and his love for mommy. That night was special, memorable, fond memories. Mommy's still here all the time. I'm sure she doesn't understand, Wendy, why you didn't come to her funeral. Why'd you have to lie to Daddy and tell him that you were going to be back in New York and you were here? It's not right. And you have us holding him up. You have him asking me questions I don't know the answers to. He wants to know. He doesn't understand. There's an emptiness because of you. Because of your selfishness. Mental health, I get it. Grief, I get it. I'm grieving too. I love you. I do. I'm concerned, yes. Have I tried reaching out numerous times? You hang up. You don't call back. I'm not calling for me. I'm calling for Daddy. Like, this isn't right. And you just leave things just going. Just let it go. Whatever. That's not good. That's not fair. I'm doing what I need to do with Daddy. All the time. Whenever I get a moment, I'm with that guy. Love him to death. Mommy wants us to stay strong as a family. That's all Mommy and Daddy wanted us to do. Wasn't much to ask. What are you doing? Like, why aren't you fostering the importance of family even to your son? We went to our grandparents or our grandfather's funeral and great-grandmother. Why do you have to, I mean, why lunch? Why my videos? And then you're going to say you don't know anything about them. You know, come on, man. That's not good. You call me and you talk to me about the videos. Now, I'm not going to go back and forth with you, Wendy, over nonsense because it's just that doesn't make sense. The main thing that I'm asking you, Wendy, is please tell Daddy why you didn't attend the funeral and take responsibility for what you've done, the pain you're causing, and pick up the phone when he calls. I love you, and I'll always be here for you. And as I deal with this pandemic, just like everybody else on this planet, I'll always leave a light on for you because it's just about a conversation, and I wish one day we could sit down, or you could sit down with your father and explain some things. Because I think he has the right to know. I love our family and I love you. And I'll always wish you the best. And I'm not trying to step in the way of anything that you're doing. But I think that to have Mommy gone and to move on like nothing's happened, and for you not to address this situation or address not going to your mother's funeral, to your father, I think that's a travesty.
So again, as I stated in my previous video, I definitely still think that Wendy has the right to grieve as she chooses and as she needs to. However, if in fact she did lie to her father about having to miss the funeral because she had to travel back to New York for important business, and if she still hasn't really communicated with him, I think that is adding an extra layer of pain to her father, who's obviously experiencing a loss and a pain deeper than probably anything he's ever experienced in his life. And I hope if that's the case, she will put aside any issues with her brother and potentially any issues maybe she's had with her father in the past aside, so that she can be there for him and be the support that he may need in his sunset years in order to progress through the healing process. Now, on a side note, notice when Tommy was talking about it would be nice to have a conversation with not even me, but even your father, he ended up pointing to his side, which made me wonder if the father was sitting in the passenger seat of the car, because he didn't have the camera focused on both seats. It was only focused on the driver's side. So it makes me wonder if the father was actually sitting there through that live. I could be totally wrong, but it was very interesting, and I pay attention to body language, and he was pointing to his side versus just kind of saying our father or just saying the words without actually pointing. So just on a side note, let me know if any of you noticed that as well, and what do you think about that? Now, unfortunately, the fallout of a family after the death of a prominent figure in the family, or really kind of anyone in the family, is not really as unusual as some may think. I hear a lot of people saying, oh, when there's a death in the family, you know, that's when the family needs to come together and be closer. And unfortunately, in my adulthood, personally, as I've experienced in my own family and people on the peripheral, what I find is when that sort of thing happens, there tends to be a bigger fallout of other people. So people who were staying together or communicating or dealing with each other for that person. When that person passes away, it's kind of like people go to a place of, okay, I'm done with playing that game. I don't have to act like I like you or act like I even want to be around you anymore. I'm just gonna cut you off. And I've seen that time and time again. And you see people fight over possessions, properties, estates, and all this other stuff. And so it's really sad that the passing of a person really brings out the worst of a person. I think there's a saying or something that money and death bring out the worst in people or show who people really are. Like, correct me if you guys know of that saying, comment below or send it to me in our text community. Now, some may be questioning, how can Wendy pretty much abandon her father through this experience? Now, our EOV family member, Michelle Lynn Pierre, actually refreshed my memory about some things in regards to Wendy Williams and her father. And I was starting to remember the fact that even on her show, how her father would be verbally and emotionally harsh with her as she was growing up, calling her fat and things of that nature. And so I think their relationship was a little bit more strained than even what she was putting on in front of the TV cameras. And it has been rumored that she's not as close to her family as she even put on when they would be on the show. And I've heard that multiple times, and I definitely think there's some truth to that. So basically, I think her mother was the person maybe she was closest to out of everyone, and maybe the reason why she even stayed connected with her family. And I'm not sure about her sister. She'll reference her sister from time to time, and I know her sister is a very private person. So I'm not sure if their relationship is just slightly closer, but she's also way older. So I don't know, but basically the perception that Wendy has had on her show for years of how close she was with her family is not necessarily as true as what the cameras show. And that's kind of normal for TV land. Everything in Hollywood is smoke and mirrors. And I've told you guys that multiple times. I don't know when you're gonna start believing me. And that counts for YouTube too. So now I question if she was never really that fond of her father as an adult, and she really just went through the motions for the sake of her mom. And so maybe that's why now, you know, she can ignore phone calls and not feel like she needs to be there to hold him up or support him during one of the most challenging moments of his life. And I'm also saddened by the position of Tommy in this. I'm saddened by, you know, Tommy kind of saying too much. I get where he's coming from. I'm sure there's a level of frustration because of the fact that Wendy is blocking him out, and the fact that Wendy's not even communicating with his father, who has questions of like, where are you and what happened and why this and why that. And so I get Tommy's position with that, and the fact that I do like his content and I begin to connect with him in a virtual sort of way. I do not see the malice that some people perceive behind this and the clout chasing level that some people see with this. I see it really from a family heart level. The issue for me is I think that his approach definitely should have been different because of the fact that she's a public figure. Something as simple as even a post blows up to being national news. And that, for me, I wish he would be a lot more careful with. And as Tommy expressed, some of his frustration is definitely that he really wants Wendy to handle this in a way that his mom would have wanted. But my best advice for you, Tommy, who I know has watched at least one of my other videos, is that you unfortunately have to let that go and begin your own healing process. Because the truth is, you may unfortunately never get the answers that you are seeking from Wendy. And if that is the case, you're just gonna have to go somewhere within to find the peace that you're seeking. So with that, that is my commentary on this situation. I have had way too much to drink. Might as well finish it, right? I tell you, this family stuff and the 7 stages of grief that I talked about in the previous video, which are true and no joke at all, we're seeing them play out right here. And I really, really honestly hope that they can heal from this at some point. I'm sure that it will not happen right away based on where we are. But with that, if you've made it to this point in the video, please let me know by commenting below, let it go. Yes, let it go. Sometimes in life, we have to just let things go. And I know it's painful, whether it's family or whether it was an intimate dating relationship that you were in that didn't work out. We sometimes cannot get all the answers. Sometimes we can't get the closure that we really would hope for and desire. And we have to heal within, and we gotta deal with it within ourselves and just let it go. Because life is not designed to give us all of the answers that we seek. And it's a harsh truth, but it's a truth. So with that, if you're new to this channel or you're returning to this channel and you have not subscribed as of yet, this would be a perfect time to subscribe below. Commit to me. I'm emotionally drained for having to put all this out for you guys. So I'm showing you obviously how much I care. So with that, subscribe below, click that notification bell, and if you are already a part of the EOV subscriber family, you guys already know that I love and appreciate you guys. You mean the world to me, and I thank you. So till next time, until I upload the next video, make sure to let it go and take care and be blessed. Peace.